we're talking about advocacy, when we're talking about sharing something to people or a city, it reminds me of a really amazing art installation piece, maybe the best art installation piece ever, and it happened in the Old Testament, in the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel. So Ezekiel was a prophet, and God came to him and said, Ezekiel, I want you to take a brick, and I want you to draw Jerusalem on it, and you're going to lay siege to that brick. So you're going to put it in a place in front of everybody, and you're going to build siege ramps and battering rams. And he didn't have Legos back then, so he had to build them himself, probably with sticks and rocks and stuff. And he's like, I want you to lay siege to this brick, foretelling the coming destruction of Jerusalem. But also, I want you, Ezekiel, to take the sins of Israel on yourself. So what I want you to do is I want you to lay on your left side and lay down on your side for the number of days, representing the number of years that Israel has sinned against me. And guess what? They've sinned against me 390 years. So you're going to lay on your side for 390 days, taking the sins of Israel on yourself. And Ezekiel must have been like, this is a horrible job. I wish I had another calling. So day in and day out, Ezekiel laid on his side, feeling and experiencing the sins, the things that were separating God from his people. And then God said, when that number is up, Ezekiel, I want you to go on your other side. So Ezekiel's like, great, this is the best job. I love my job. And he's like, I want you to lay on your side corresponding to the number of years that Judah, the northern country, has sinned against me. And it's a little bit less, but it's 40 years. So Ezekiel, you're going to lay on your side for 40 days. And so Ezekiel's there, sieging, representing, feeling the pain, feeling the separation. And then God says, when that time is done, I want you to bear your arm, and I want you to face Jerusalem, and I want you to preach. And I imagine that the first thing that Ezekiel said when he bared his arm and preached was, ow! Because preaching should never come without pain. We think that advocacy starts with speaking, but really I think advocacy starts with brokenness. I mean, before you're going to say anything to anybody else, you need to let it wreck you inside. I mean, this thing that you're going to talk about, how is it affecting your life? I mean, how are you wrestling with it? How are you making sacrifices for it? And then when you let it wreck you and you are broken for it, that brokenness is your visual advocacy. When people see your brokenness, they're going to see love, because love is part of brokenness. We're not inviting people into solutions. I mean, although we hope solutions to problems happen, what we're inviting them into is love. A love that, starts with pain, but then leads to a greater love, which is self-sacrifice, the greatest form of love. So to be an advocate is to let yourself be broken. Let it roll around in you and break all the things that you have put together, and be visually broken for that. And then when we become advocates, we're inviting people into that love that we're experiencing. Sure, it's painful, and that's where we should start, always. We should always speak from pain. But realize we're not inviting them into suffer. We don't need to guilt them into helping out. We're inviting them into love. And that's what everybody wants to be invited into.